Today's short is being brought to you by Goya Foods. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Your daily game plan for success. It's Sachs in the Morning. Steve Sachs.
Hi, Steve Sachs here with Sachs in the Morning, and today is Tuesday, the 29th of November, and we are talking about Self-Motivation Week, how to get those goals achieved. Yesterday, we talked about 4 tips regarding self-motivation, but today, we're going to go back a bit, and we're going to talk about 3 critical questions that you have to ask yourself once you set a goal, okay? Listen, you may be saving yourself a lot of time and energy if you can't answer yes to these simple 3 questions, okay? That's why we're going to make it really concise today. 3 questions. Now, these 3 questions came from Dr. Scott Geller from Virginia Tech University. And to be honest with you, I found this pretty profound. But if you can't answer yes to these 3 questions, then you might need to regroup and, go in other directions. And this came from a TED Talk that we're actually going to link in the show notes, so you can go and check that out. It's pretty amazing. So here are the 3 questions from Dr. Geller. And what you're looking for, again, is a yes to each of these questions. And here is question number 1. Very simple these are, okay? Question number 1, can you do it? So I know it's a very simple question. Can you do it? You just got to be honest with yourself. That's what it all comes down to. Sometimes we get into this world of make-believe and we think we can do anything, which is admirable, but it's not realistic. Like if you're 5'5", let's just be honest. You're not going to become the next Muggsy Bogues in the NBA. You're probably not going to play in the NBA. If you're 45 years old and you've never done a sport in your life, you're probably not going to break the world record in the mile, okay? Just not going to happen. So you just got to be honest with yourself. Do you have the skills and the knowledge and the ability to achieve this next goal, right? Might save you a lot of time. All right. Secondly, will it work? Very simple. Will it work? I mean, look, you have a goal to build houses for the underprivileged in the Amazon, but the asterisk came on the contract that said you had to fund the whole thing yourself and you don't have any dough. Okay. Probably not going to work because I don't have the means or the way to facilitate this thing. Another example, one of my favorite hitting coaches of all time was Frank Howard. Kept it real simple. And I knew when I was talking to Frank Howard about hitting, something that you can go down a rabbit hole and be very, very technical and scientific about, you know what? Probably not going to work. But Frank Howard, my favorite hitting coach, made it real simple. And you know what? I hit over 300 both years with him because he kept it simple. And I knew that would probably work if I was working with somebody like a Frank Howard. Okay. Very simple process there. So you got to ask yourself, does this process, this whole thing work? And frankly, the bottom line is, do you believe it? Do you believe that the process, do you think it's going to work? And finally, is it worth it? And this might be the most important question. There's 2 ways of looking at it. There's intrinsic and there's extrinsic values. All right. Extrinsic is when it's not really in your heart. You're doing it for some other reason, usually a monetary reason. If it's intrinsic, it's something that you really, really love to do. And that makes it certainly worth it. If there's something that you love as opposed to something you're just going to get. But if it's something you love, it's certainly going to be worth it to me. So I think you have to ask yourself that bottom line. Is it going to be worth it? And you're really going to get motivated or be really inspired if it's something that you really care about or something that you really love. So if it's just something you're going to pass the time about, or if it's something just to fill a gap, I don't know. You may have second thoughts about it. But if you love it, there's no doubt about it. So here's the great news. And Dr. Geller points this one out. Is if your answer is yes to these questions, these 3 questions, then you instantly are going to have a ton of confidence because number 1, that you can do it. You know that it's going to work. And you know that more than anything else, because of the time and effort that you're putting in, it's going to be worth it. So the confidence is going to shoot through the roof and your chances of attaining this goal are great. And that's my short for today. Hey everybody, Steve Sachs here. And if you're thinking about holiday gifts, why not give a Sachs in the Morning mug or a hoodie or something from the swag department to keep up the inspiration and keep it fresh all day long. And don't forget the Sachs in the Morning holiday gift cards available right now on the website. Or I can send a personalized audio message from you to whomever you wish. And you can find all of our gift ideas and my information for greetings right there on the website, sachsinthemorning.com. And don't forget, if you or someone you know might be interested in a speaker for an event, you can find that information on the website as well. Just go to saxinthemorning.com. And thanks to Al Hendrickson Toyota for their support of this podcast. And be sure to visit alhendricksontoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.